Oh, if you were to tell me last year, say, Sheena, you're going to have the best job in a year's time. You're going to have more of a balance. You're going to be so much happier. I'd be like, I don't think so. Like, it's been this long, this shitty for this many years already. What are you smoking? Like
Mhm.
I didn't see it for me at all.
Mhm.
It's so different now. Depressed. I was feeling hopeless. I was stressed. I felt like, why do these things keep happening to me? Um, I was negative, like negative thoughts more than I even realized. I wasn't happy. I was, I had a lot. I cried a lot. I was overly emotional, or I'm very emotional. I don't know if it was overly. Maybe you could, you might have another opinion on that. But yeah, I just was all over the place. I didn't know someone like you existed. Like I didn't. I've heard the term life coach, but I think when I hear life coach, I think, oh, they just help me like get organized. Like I didn't know the depth that a life coach does. And I thought, well, why not? I've tried everything else. Um, like let's just give this a go and see.
I know where you were and one of the desires that you had and one of the goals for yourself that actually manifested. So what was that for you?
I have a job that I love that it came out of nowhere. Like it literally came out of nowhere. I didn't even know about this position because I had interviewed for another one. And then they, as you know, they called me that day and said, I'm sorry, we had to offer the position that you came in to interview for to somebody else who had a little more experience. But would you be interested in this? Which is almost the same job, but even better because I don't have as much responsibility as they do right now. And I said, yes. So it wasn't even, I didn't even know about it, you know?
Yeah, and it
Just,
actually met what you were desiring in a more concise way with the more freedom and everything
yeah,
that you're.
it was even better, you know?
Yeah.
I am. I'm happy. I'm so happy. The job is amazing. I have a balance for the first time, honestly, probably in like 20 years. Like since, yeah, I actually have a balance. Um, I love it. I'm really happy. So
Where are you? What kind of woman are you now after having, spent this time with me?
well, I'm a lot more positive. I'm much more aware of my thoughts and my thinking and how um how to be aware of how my thoughts, what I think, I bring it back to me. So if I'm always thinking negative, then I'm only going to bring negative. And when I had said when we first started working, I felt like, why does this always happen to me? And then now I understand why it all happens to me. You reap what you sow, as it says in the Bible. So now I'm having more of an understanding of that. Um, yeah, I am more optimistic. I realize that like I can put things out there and just trust that it's going to be done and stop worrying so much. The what ifs, just try to let it go more. So even that is huge for me to just kind of release it and just
Mhm.
try to embrace where I'm at and look for the good things. So I find myself being more grateful now than I've ever been of little things to big things, like a parking spot. Oh, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really like that as much before. So
So what was one of your biggest fears starting with me? Like what would have, thinking about somebody who may be thinking, could Catherine help me? What was one of your biggest fears coming into it?
honestly, if I could afford it.
Mhm. Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
genuine fear of most people because they're not used to investing in themselves. They're used to investing in things. So what could you speak to that?
Um, it was a really good investment because we did so much more than, like, we went so much deeper with the other things that you are trained in. You helped me in those other areas, which I never even knew about prior. So it wasn't just the life coaching, it was so much deeper than I thought. Um, I think another fear was change. Like, I knew how to be miserable. What is she going to ask me to do? Is she going to ask me to do a bunch of things and I've already committed? I've signed on the dotted line, so to speak, and I'm stuck and I can't get out of this, you know? Um, yeah, like, is she going to ask me to do stuff that I just not going to want to do? And some of it, yeah, I did not want to do. There's always that resistance, right?
But it's not hard. I mean, it is stuff that we have internal resistance to, but
Mhm.
you know,
No, you didn't ask me to do anything hard. It's just the paradigm, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to work on, and I still have to work on things all the time, but I'm in a much better place.
Mhm.
Like, it's like a 180 from where I was this time last year. So as you know, one of my goals was to be more in control of my emotional eating and whatnot. So I didn't think I was looking after myself as well as I needed to, like, in terms of what I was putting in my mouth and, like, eating. I went to a follow-up appointment with the dietitian. I went to see her mid-July and I just saw her 2 weeks ago. So it was like 2 months. I lost 3% body weight, like body fat. And I wasn't even like, I said, what? She said, you lost 3% body fat. That's
Mhm.
really like, that might not sound like a lot. That's a lot in 2 months. And then I lost like 9 inches or something. And I said, what?
But
So
what have you
I
been
don't know.
working on though? You've been working on self-love, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And trying to just, yeah.
You. Do you think you would have been able to do this on your own?
No,
No. That
absolutely.
was the
Like,
same, that same for me too when
yeah,
I first, yeah. No.
not a chance. No, no chance in hell. And I like the accountability too, like, knowing that I had stuff to do over those couple of weeks till our next call. And then the evening calls, when those started with the ladies, it just becomes part of your routine. And then knowing that there's other people who are like me, there's nothing wrong with me. And I also really love that you focus on women. I felt really comfortable on the calls because having a man on there can really change the dynamic, in terms of like what women will want to share. And that's nothing against men, it's just a change in the dynamic and experience, right?
Yeah. And what would you say about the other ladies on the call? What kind of community are they?
Oh, they're great. Like, I'm gonna miss them. And you,
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna miss, like, oh, did she get her promotion, or did she win the trip, or, like, I'm gonna miss them because we all shared um similar things but different, just looking for our goals, but our goals might look different, but the journey is still similar. Or if someone was kind of blah, you felt better at the end of the call because you're like, you just, no matter what, you walked away from a call feeling better than when you got on the call. At least
Mhm.
that's how I felt.
Now,
Mhm.
did you find that you were always picking up something new, even though?
Always.
Mhm.
Every call too. And that's why I was thinking that today. I'm like, I'm really gonna miss the calls because even though I've heard the lessons before, you or someone will say something. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. I needed to hear that. And so now I'm like, what am I gonna be missing? Like, wonderful at this. Sometimes just as soon as I see your face, I feel good because you emit that joy, like, you radiate. And so I can't help but when I see you, not to feel good myself, you know?
So if somebody was sitting here thinking, will this benefit me? I'm really afraid. Maybe I'm afraid to invest the money. Where's it going to come from? Will this work for me? What would you say to them?
I'd say you're worth the cost. This will help. You know, you do have to invest in yourself. And I always felt guilty about investing in myself, that, oh, it's too much money to spend on myself. It's, you know, um, but no, it's really worth it. You're worth it. Yeah, I'd say just do it, you know, jump in and take it a day at a time and do the steps, you know, just, you know,
Mhm.
and don't be so hard on yourself. I can still be too hard on myself if I feel like I'm not doing something enough or well enough. So you know, try to be easy and in this process, but it's definitely worth it.